Hi, my name is Sissy, and I want to welcome you to my show, Getting Healthy with Sis. I am married to my hunky husband, Matt, and together we own a fitness and nutrition coaching studio in Lakeland, Florida called Restoration Fitness and Nutrition. We have 2 little boys, and I've been a nutrition coach for 5 years, helping countless people to revamp their lives and see amazing results implementing one healthy habit at a time. My passion is to help women just like me realize they don't have to be a victim to poor eating habits and poor health. Instead, through proper education and empowerment, they can take control of their health and live the healthiest and happiest life possible. As you tune into my show, I promise you're going to learn new things about your health. You're going to be inspired to take action towards your goals, and you're going to have a ton of fun along the way. Well, welcome to the Getting Healthy with Sis show, and I am here today with one of my current nutrition coaching clients. She has been a client of mine here at Restoration Fitness and Nutrition for a little over 2 years, almost 2.5 years now. So before we dive in today, I'm going to kind of do a little introduction for Sierra, and then you can fill in any gaps. So Sierra is 26 years old. She's from Lakeland, Florida. She is a twin. Okay, that's a super rare thing, right? Mm-hmm. But she's a twin, and she is a hospice nurse. So she finished nursing school. Actually, when she became a client of mine, she was finishing nursing school. And you've done where was your first, was it in the jail, the prison?
No, originally I worked at the local hospital here. And then from there, I went to a men's prison.
A men's prison, okay. That is one for the resume.
2 months. It felt like 2 years.
Right.
Never do it again.
Right.
And then I worked at Moffitt Cancer Center.
Yeah.
For a year or so.
Yeah.
I've been with hospice for 4 months.
Yeah. And then now you are doing hospice. So she does home visits. So she's had, even in your short career as a nurse,
right,
you've had lots of different, experiences. But one of the reasons why I wanted to interview Sierra is because when she started with us and with me as her coach, she was in a completely different place in life than she is today. And over the last 2.5 years, we were talking and kind of going over her journey some, and there literally has not been a time when she has fallen off the bandwagon or gone in the other direction or stopped or lost focus. She has really, really been committed to this lifestyle change, and it has been so inspiring and just encouraging for me as a coach to get to walk with someone who's really bought in to the process and in it for the long run. And there's just so many things that it's a pleasure to get to coach her. But one of the reasons why I wanted to have her on the show is because she is someone that is an example to follow of really just being like, you know what, I want this. I need this. I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to have the long game in mind. I'm not trying to do a quick fix or something for 3 months. I'm going to transform my life, and that's really what has happened. And so she's like a gold mine of just all of the amazing things that happen when you commit to that process. But some of the really cool things that have happened, or the things that we can measure. Right. We're going to hit on some things that we can measure on a scale or on paper, and then we're going to hit on some things that are what we call our Nonscale victories. That's going to be kind of some of the stuff we hit on today. But she's lost over 40 pounds at this point. And one of the things, as I was kind of doing her calculations and looking at her in-body scans, this is really cool. She has lost 40 pounds of fat. Okay? So a lot of times when people embark on a weight loss journey or a health journey, if they're not quite sure how to arrange their nutrition and they're not doing strength training, it's a very common thing when you have a lot of weight to lose to burn through muscle. Your body will actually metabolize muscle as you are losing the weight. But when I was looking at your in-body scans, you have literally lost 40 pounds of fat.
That's news to me. I didn't know
okay?
that. Yeah.
So really, which is really cool, and she has maintained her lean mass, which is responsible for keeping her metabolism going. And you know, your muscle is such healthy tissue on your body. So that's really cool. So she's lost 40 pounds of fat. Amazing. 11% body fat from her whole body and 35 inches total of the spaces that we measure. Another really cool scale victory, if you will, is that her cholesterol has gone down 40 points.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
That's awesome.
It's nuts. So, like, that is so amazing. But without further ado, I wanted to just kind of dive in and for you to tell us a little bit about, like, why you started in the first place and, like, give us a good picture of, like, what your life was like when you started. Like, what were you doing every day or not doing? Right. Or, like, who was Sierra and what was Sierra like during that time?
When I originally started, I was in nursing school going through that. That was a grind in itself. I was just very unhealthy. A lot of fast food. I was pretty sedentary. Growing up, we had a very, and I say we, me and my twin sister, we grew up in a very Southern household. So like the very traditional values, every dinner had a fried meat and a starch and a veggie that was usually out of a can.
Yep.
They
had bread,
right,
roll with butter.
We weren't like encouraged to drink water. I mean, our family would go through 2 liters like nobody's business. My mom had a gastric sleeve about 10 years ago, and so I moved out when I was like 21, and I just found myself like back into those same habits and like going through those same routines, and I was like, this is not what I want for myself.
How did you feel? Like, do you remember back to like,
I mean, every meal made me lethargic.
Yeah.
I was tired all the time. I was sluggish. I mean, I was just out of shape, and it was clear.
Yeah.
And it's not good to carry all of that weight on your body, and I felt that every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you gained that weight over, because when you were in high school,
growing up, I never really had to question. I mean, I played softball, I swam. My dad has a pretty fast metabolism, but my mom does not. But it wasn't until I moved out when I was like 21 that I really started to
add up quickly. Your bad habits, your sugar, fast food, all of those things. So you found restoration, and you were like, okay. Like, what made you be like, I'm going to do this? I'm going to sign up you signed up as a group fitness client and as a nutrition client.
Yeah.
So what made you, like, jump in?
I remember it was Thanksgiving of 21. And, I did the interest thing, and Matt called me, and I was like, Matt's like, are you ready? I was like, I'm going to eat a burger first, but I'll be ready tomorrow. I honestly think I was just tired of being tired. Like, I was just ready, and I had dabbled in CrossFit a little bit before, but nothing ever stuck. I was just kind of looking for something to kind of get out of the rut, something to look forward to. And then when I met with him and we went over everything and you guys offered nutrition coaching, I was like, well, that's really what I need. Like, you can't outwork a bad diet. So that's what I need.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So when you started, you were just feeling like sluggish, tired, no energy, feeling like bad.
Right.
And you were just ready.
Had no confidence in myself, just felt bad in my own skin, and I needed help in order to move forward.
And when you first joined, your big goal was to lose 30 pounds, right?
Right.
And we've surpassed that.
Yes.
Yay. That's awesome. Picture this with me. You're sitting down to make your grocery list for the week, and you're stumped on what healthy items you can add to your list that are going to fuel your body while helping you to reach your fat loss and body composition goals. You want some easy go-to items to stock in your fridge and pantry that you know will increase your health while decreasing your waistline. Well, I have the solution for you. I have created 3, that's right, I said it, 3 amazing shopping guides for Aldi, Sam's Club, and Costco. So if you're someone who frequents these grocery stores, you can download these lists for free, and I promise they'll guide your shopping experience in a spectacular way. So if you're ready to download these lists now, you can go to gettinghealthywithsis.restorationfitnesslkld.com. I'll say it again so you can write it down. That's gettinghealthywithsis.restorationfitnesslkld.com. I know you've created a new goal for yourself.
Right.
We're not done yet.
No.
But you've lost 40 now. And so compared to, and I remember when you started, we've all of the coaches here, we've always been such fans of yours. But I remember, it was hard for you to do a burpee. But I remember Josh would just be like, she's killing it. She doesn't quit. She's getting after it, you just inspired all of us because we could tell it was not the easiest thing.
The hardest, honestly, the hardest thing was showing up. And I had such a fear of being judged by other people. Just get into the door and do the workout and whatever happens. But everybody was so encouraging. It was hard for me to do a burpee. It was hard for me to do a lunge. I had no body awareness of how strong I was, what my body could do. And I was so out of shape. Yeah. So just getting through a workout was tough.
Yeah. And now you can do burpees and you can do lunges.
Right. And I just kept showing up. That's really what it came down to.
Yes. That's so, so good. Oh, wow. So let's see. I remember back in about a year into your journey, we started out with basic habits, right? Drinking your water, meal prepping. We started trying to decrease fast food and add in more whole foods, focus on protein. And I just want to say, she has been such a joy to coach because has she done everything perfectly? No. And that's not what's necessary. But she's stayed consistent. And the things that we have talked about and worked on, hey, this is our next step. She has put her hand to the plow and has been okay, I'm going to do this. What would you say, in those moments when it's been maybe you maybe lost load of motivation or it's ugh, have you had those moments?
Oh, yeah.
Well, how do you get through them? How do you keep choosing what you really want,
I think the biggest thing for me, one of the things that I've learned over this process is one bad day does not erase 2 years of progress.
Yes.
You're not going to feel on top of the world every day.
Right.
I also have the tools that I know when it's a bad day that I can go back to drinking my water and eating my protein. If nothing else goes right, then I know I at least can do these few things.
That's right.
But no, there's definitely been times where your energy's just not there.
Right. Yeah, you lose. You're just you're
totally not feeling.
You've totally had weeks where you're sis, I was just in a funk, or this month was just kind of off for me. But the off did not mean I have reverted back to I'm not cramming pizza and donuts. It's never looked like that. It just might be I just am kind of I need something new, and we've done that a few times. But I remember back, you were probably about a year into your journey. And I think that we had started logging your food in MyFitnessPal, and we noticed that she was for several months in a row, despite being really consistent and really faithful, her body had kind of just put the brakes on, and she had reached what is known as a plateau. And that's one benefit of having a coach that can look at what you're doing and that's holding you accountable. So you're not telling yourself you're doing one thing and not doing it, but you're the coach is okay, I know that you're doing these things. So, I remember saying to her, Sierra, and it was at a time where you're about to run a half marathon, which that's a big thing that she's accomplished. So awesome. And I was girl, I think you need more food. And especially if you're going to be doing CrossFit and training outside of the gym, we got to make sure that you're fueling your body. If you don't have enough fuel, you're more prone to injury and to you're not going to be able to perform and run as long and as fast and all those things. So she was you're telling me I need to eat more food.
Right.
This is not, no, I need to eat less food if I want to keep going in the right direction. But let's remember back. So she decided, she said, you know what, I'm going to trust the process. Because what happens is when you have been eating the same amount of food for, it happens for people at different stages, but for 6 months, for 9 months, 12 months, it really depends. Everyone's body responds differently. But when you've been doing the same thing for a period of time, eventually your body is going to adjust to it and it's no longer going to respond like it had at once. And so what that's called when that happens is a plateau, and she was just kind of stalemate. And so how you correct that, or one way to correct that, is that you slowly begin increasing the amount of food that you're eating strategically. You're not just like, okay, let's just go out and get Dairy Queen and McDonald's. Like, we're slowly increasing it so that we can train her metabolism to burn more and to burn at a higher pace. And then we sit there for a little bit of time, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, we sit there. And then when we go back in that deficit, now she's created a new deficit that her body is going to start responding to again. So we had to do that, but let's remember back. That first month that we increased your food, tell us what happened. Do you remember?
That first month, I think like 2 weeks in.
Because I started eating more.
I trusted sis, but I was like, I need to see this on paper. So we did a scan at 2 weeks, and I had gained like 3% muscle, and I think I was only eating like 100 extra calories.
I think you had lost like 2% body fat and gained like 2 or 3 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, 3 pounds of muscle.
Yeah. So her body was like really responding in a positive way to having more food around. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm bought in. So we stayed there for several months. We're just eating at maintenance, and then we cut back down, and she started losing again. And we're actually at a point right now where we've bumped things back up to try to get things moving. You're training. What are you doing for your 27th birthday? Why don't you tell us that?
You have to cut this part out.
Is it a surprise?
I'm not doing it I signed up for a marathon on...
You're not doing that?
Not on my birthday.
You're not doing the 27 mile thing?
It's too hot.
Okay.
That's you during our...
It's okay.
I was like, I should have said something before.
It's okay. Okay, so what was I saying before? We were saying that you had increased we're in a place right now where we've increased your food again, and you're just trying to eat more and get your metabolism kind of more revved up. That's good. Okay. Tell me this, Sierra. Through this journey, okay, there have been times where I have been like, Sierra, eat the dang food.
Hashtag eat the dang food.
Yes. How has that been for you? Like, tell me how that process, because it's a lot of times when women, are like, I need to lose weight. The mindset is like, I just have to restrict. 100%. I cannot eat. I have to eat 1,200 calories or 1,000 calories a day, and, blah, 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 blah. And then that obviously is not sustainable.
Right.
The body just gets torn down and broken down. You can't sustain that low amount of food for a long time. So what is your relationship now as far as the amount of food that you're eating? Tell me about that, how your relationship is with it.
I mean, I completely agree with what you were saying. When we first brought it up, it was like, I'm supposed to be eating less in order to lose weight. Society has like drilled that down your throat.
Right.
But through doing that, I look at food as fuel, and I know that eating will help me reach my goals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand the importance of food, and, how eating more can help. Get you where you want to be.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what your daily/weekly routine looks like that works best for you. Like, what are the key pillars that have to happen, or that you make sure happen? Like, that these things, when I'm doing these things, like, I'm staying where I want to be and I'm feeling my best. Right. What are those things for you?
It's a little hit or miss because I work the weekends. So usually on Tuesday, Monday.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's just talk about it because that's real life.
Yeah, that's real life.
So Sierra works the weekends, okay? And this is so important because I just want you guys to know, whoever you are out there, your story is not unique. You are not a special person because you have 3 small children. You are not a special person because you work in the ER, 5 days a week. We all have things in our lives that call for our attention and our time. And we all have the same 24-hour period of time. And when I say this, I say it with complete love, but complete honesty. The things that are important to you, you will figure out how to make time for them. It is that simple, period. So let's talk about that. Sierra works the weekends, okay? And her weekends, when she's on call, I mean, it's like sometimes it's crazy and sometimes it's not.
Right.
So what do you do knowing I'm about to be on call for the weekend, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday? It could be craziness.
Yes.
What do you do to set yourself up so you know, like, I'm not about to just go off the whole bandwagon for 3 days straight? What do you do?
Well, I want to answer that question too by starting off and saying, like, I'm not perfect.
Right. Right.
But I do my best Thursday, Fridays to plan as well as I can for the weekend.
Right.
Prep meals. I also work out of my car. So, like, depending on how early the day starts, I might not have the time to, grab whatever's available. So I have also go-to places in my head that I can stop at.
Right.
And I know meals that will help me reach my goals.
Yeah.
But it's very much taking that intentional time during the week to make sure that you have snacks and meals prepped.
Right.
And I do a lot of, like, pre-tracking, which, again, I'm not perfect, is hit or miss on the weekends because it's life and that's a priority, but as other things, but pre-planning and pre-tracking for me has been a huge help.
Right. And I love what you said. Like, I'm not perfect, and no one can be, but we can make sure that there is some forethought into like, okay, I know I put some things in my lunch bag that are good choices and that, like Sierra said, they're going to help me hit my protein goal. These are good nutrient-dense choices. And then if I need to swing into Chipotle or I need to swing into Chick-fil-A and grab this, that, or the other, I know some options there that I can get that are not, like, terrible.
Right.
And so I love that. And one of the things that you've hit on a few times, which I think our listeners might want to know about, is you've said my protein goal.
Right.
My protein goal. My protein. I can hit my protein. So tell me a little bit about that.
It's funny
Why is that important?
It's funny that you bring that up, though, because I was working out the other day and Matt was talking about protein, and one of the ladies in here was like, Sierra, what's your protein goal? I'm trying to hit 150 grams a day. And they looked at me and their jaws dropped.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? Like, you have to be intentional.
Which at first, if I had said to Sierra 150 grams of protein, she would have been like, what?
I didn't even know what protein was or how it helped you, like the impact of it. It's definitely
a journey.
Right?
Yeah.
To build up to 150 grams. But once you start to learn what the protein content is in foods and you change your eating habits so your taste changes as well.
Right.
And I feel like the more protein you consume, your body kind of craves it. It's just easier to plan those things out, but it takes being intentional.
Right.
At the grocery store and when you plan your meals.
And, like, knowing how to shop, knowing what things, like, oh, this is a good thing to add into my day. It really boosts my daily protein.
I mean, I stand in aisles and look at nutrition labels, and I never did that before.
That's right, girl. See? Look at that transformation. I love it.
I never did that.
You went from, like, looking at the McDonald's drive-through menu to reading
my mom
nutrition labels.
Like, especially with nursing, my mom's like, hey, I picked you up some snacks, and I'm like, and she's like, they're healthy. They're not. Like, look at that.
Like
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like marketed as healthy, but you gotta read those labels.
That's right. Tell me this. So let's actually go back before we move forward. Your daily routine, your weekly routine, so that helps you to feel your best. So you said on Thursday, Friday, you spend some time like, okay, I'm preparing, I'm making sure that I have some things I can add in my lunchbox and take with me on these busy days. And then, like, what does your workout routine look like? What is your sleep routine? All of those sorts of things.
Workout, so Sunday when the workouts are posted, I am trying to reserve all of my workouts for that week.
So you plan ahead when you're coming to the gym. Okay.
Because I need to put those on your calendar. That's a date for yourself.
Come on.
And then I also try to plan out my runs too, which is, it's hit or miss on the days, but at least 2 runs a week.
Okay. Okay.
And then about Monday or Tuesday after I've rested from the week, I'm going back to the grocery store or seeing what I have in my house to make meals.
Right. Right.
And sleep, like I have to get at least 6 hours of sleep or I'm not functioning.
Yeah.
So I know, like for me, I have to go to bed at a decent time.
That's right. Yeah. And you know what I hear her saying is that she has found and developed a routine for herself. And in the book Atomic Habits, I love that book, and you'll probably, if you're tuning in to this show, you're going to hear me talk about it a lot. But one of the things that James Clear says in that book is that you know when something has become a habit when you do it without having to devote any mental energy to it. And what is so beautiful about the transformation that Sierra has gone through that did not happen in 2 months or 6 weeks or 12 weeks, it's happened through years now, is that she has developed routines for herself that are just automatics.
Right.
Like, I know I've got to go to the grocery store. It usually happens Monday or Tuesday. Like, I'm seeing my fridge and it's empty, so that doesn't mean I go out. It means I need to go shopping.
Yeah.
You know, and not that you don't ever go out, but like, okay, I need more groceries. And so that's like become a part of your routine. It's automatic. And I mean, you would be surprised. Like I've coached a lot of clients that like just going to the grocery store is like, you should go shopping. Like you should go get food into your house. You know, it's like if it's there, you're going to eat it, you know?
It's a super big trigger for me when I start to like scroll on Uber Eats. I'm like, okay, you need to go to the
right.
Like, yeah, some of those old habits die hard. So wait a second.
Hold up.
Right.
This is the old Sierra.
Right. And again, I'm not perfect.
That's right. Yeah.
You know.
And I love that. And
if that a red light goes off.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And the way that you've approached this, do you feel like it's been a sustainable?
Oh, definitely.
A sustainable approach that you have been able to maintain.
It's sustainable because I know that a bad meal or a bad day doesn't erase my progress. Or I know that I can enjoy holidays or birthdays. I can go out to dinner with family and, you know, make a good choice. Right. But before I would, I had that holiday meal and I ate like crap. So like, I'm just going to fall off.
Screw it.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't matter anymore. But or knowing that like, I had a busy work weekend and I did swing in or whatever. Like it doesn't erase all the progress that you put in.
And that's so like mental.
Right.
That's not like, that is a mental thing that we've got to solidify in our brains for ourselves. It's like a psychological thing.
You have to have like short-term memory. Mm-hmm. Like you messed up or whenever you made a mistake, it's behind you, move on.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that in itself, not beating yourself up, that in itself is a huge part of longevity, which reminds me, a few maybe 6 weeks ago or 2 months ago, I challenged Sierra to do a journal, a journal exercise with me, where every day she was going to write down 3 things in that day that were a gain for her, meaning 3 things that like, hey, this is something I'm proud of. Like, this is something I did today, something I accomplished today, something that was positive today. Even if it was like, I went for a walk in the park and like threw the ball with my dog and it was just like so relaxing and I just like really love that. Like whatever it is, and like focus on those things and be thankful for them and see your life through that way. So how was that experience for you? And like, how did you feel like that type of mindset is like interwoven with your long-term success with your health?
100%. That experience, it's so easy to like not pick up on how the little things are affecting your day. One of like the biggest things that I remind myself is like the small wins are the big wins. So like having to think back on how the day went, remind myself of the little things that were good or positive was very helpful.
Right.
With my mindset and just with life in general.
Right.
It's not just because you had a bad day doesn't mean it's a bad life.
That's right.
And I needed that reminder at that time.
That's right. That's so good. I love it.
Are you a busy mama who wants to be healthy while also feeding your family healthy and balanced meals, but you find that every week you have no time for planning and cooking? Well, As a busy mama myself, I feel you and I know exactly where you are. And that's why I have created a special recipe guide just for you. It's my Instant Pot Chicken recipe guide. And in this guide, I'm going to show you how to make one big batch of chicken from your Instant Pot. And then with that chicken, you can make 3 delicious and healthy meals that your family can eat on all week long. That's right. There'll be enough for you to have meal prepped lunches and dinners for you and the whole family. To get this free guide today, go to gettinghealthywithsis.restorationfitnesslkld.com. I'll say it again. That's gettinghealthywithsis.restorationfitnesslkld.com.
We have had an awesome little recap and conversation, getting to know you more, which it's been a pleasure. But before we finish up, I want to spend some time just talking about the non-scale victories that you have had and just hit on these because, you know, we've all been in that boat before. Like if you're watching this or listening to this, like you've probably been there where you're like, I need to lose weight and I'm not going to be happy until I get to my goal. That's another episode for another topic for another episode. But we've all been there. But I want to tell you there are so many non-scale victories that happen when you commit to this process that sometimes for me, when I have clients like telling me their non-scale things, those are like truly the life-changing things.
Right.
Like those are the things like your life probably hasn't changed much because you were like a smaller clothes size.
Right.
But like all of the other things that are like not measured on the scale I'll let you say, but like, tell me about those things. Like, can you remember and think through some of them that have been like a really big deal for you?
Yeah. I mean, my confidence is a lot better.
Yeah.
I look back and I think of like, just the commitment that I've put in and like showing myself that I can stick to something. I'm like, I've gained so much, but the thing that I'm proudest of is that I didn't give up.
Right.
Commitment. I have better sleep. I feel like the athlete in me is coming out. I kind of mentioned before, like I grew up playing softball, but I tore my ACL very early on in high school. So like my entire high school season was out. So like that feeling of like that athletic feeling and just being more in shape, being more active, able to do things. I'm a better nurse because of it. I'm better for my patients. I just feel better overall. Like my energy is better.
Right.
I'm just a happier person.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just have a lot more things to look forward to. Before it was like, I don't know, they was just kind of gliding through life. And
a lot of times, you know, I've seen this in my own life when I've, you know, had times where I'm kind of off the bandwagon, if you will, with my nutrition. And and because of what I experience in those times where I'm like, I gotta I gotta get back to what I know is like the right path here, how it makes you feel like when you are eating that way. And when you're, and my heart goes out to people because I think I'm like, how many people just like they feel bad and they don't even know that they feel so bad.
Right.
Like they feel bad. Like they feel depressed and anxious and sad and lazy. And then they're beating themselves up because they feel that way, but they have no clue. It's because they are eating crap.
Right.
It is not making them feel good. And so that in itself, that you're like, I just feel better. Like that's changed my life, you know? Yeah. And I loved what you said too. I always say that the number one way to build confidence or to gain confidence is to keep the promises that you've made to yourself. Like, and I mean, you see that, like, you're like, my confidence is different now than it was then. And it's because you've been like, Sierra, you want more for yourself. Like, now go get it. And you've like actually proven to yourself that you can, like, you know, not that you're perfect, but that you're like, no, I go after those things. And you have a different standard for yourself that you're like, I'm now proud of that.
Right. I feel like every day I have to tell myself, like, do that for you.
Right.
Do that because you want it.
Right.
And just kind of keep putting those things in the bank for you.
Right.
It's only going to benefit you in the long run.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, cool. Well, if you've watched this far, I'm so glad that you joined us today. If you've listened or watched, okay. But I wanted to encourage you, if something from Sierra's story has stuck out to you and you're like, I need this, like if it's given you courage in any way, I want to encourage you to go to our website, www.restorationfitnesslkld.com. You'll see a button when you get to the website that says book a free intro. We do nutrition coaching here in our gym. We also offer it virtually. And then we offer small group fitness classes, which Sierra has been a member of those classes. And we also offer personal training. So we are here for you, okay? We want to come alongside you and help you on your journey so that you, too, can have a transformation in your life. Sierra is an example. She is a normal person that had normal bad habits before that has experienced a transformation because she bought in and she committed and she has stayed.
I just showed up.
Yeah. Just show up. And we'll help you.
Right.
You know, so if this has encouraged you today, I want to encourage you to go to restorationfitnesslkld.com and book your free intro. Thanks for watching or listening, whichever platform you find this on, and I hope that you have a great day.
Bye.